Hello everyone, time for another video. We have some updates since the last video, which was really a long time ago. The good news is that since the last video, I've continued to kind of improve. It's been pretty slow, but the improvement's been also kind of steady, I guess. Some of the minor, well, the obvious, I guess, metrics that you would measure maybe. Um, we finally weighed me. Like we hadn't weighed me in a long time because since I couldn't really stand up properly, it was difficult to find a place that could weigh me with a wheelchair, or we didn't know where to go for those things. But we did find one finally where, at the physical therapy place that we were going to. And the first time we weighed me, I think I was 153 pounds. And then we weighed a second time more recently when I was doing my ECG because the bed that I was in had like a scale built into it. And so there I was at like 157 pounds. And that's a big change because I think the last time I weighed myself, 2+ years ago, 3 years ago, I think I was in the 135 range. And I kept telling everyone I was 135 pounds, but I'm pretty sure, because that was the last thing that I weighed at, pretty sure that I was much less than that. I was probably down in the 120s, maybe the low 120s. So that would have been, the end of 2023 that I was kind of in that range. So having gained about 30 pounds, 30 something pounds in a year and a bit, 14, 15 months. That's a reasonable pace of weight gain. We're trying to not gain too much more weight without getting stronger because the more gait I gain, the more, did I say gait I gain? The more weight I gain, the more effort there is for Stacy to help me get in and out of places. So hopefully the muscle strength gains catch up with the weight gains soon. I have noticed that I do feel stronger in a lot of different places. One of the things, I was talking about before, I think that I couldn't quite use keyboards properly because I couldn't hold my arms, or my forearms above the keyboard. So I was often resting my palms on the table or on the laptop bottom piece so that I could type on the keyboards for work and stuff. But over the last few months, I've really made it back to being able to use the keyboard in the tray. I don't raise my hand super high, but I'm able to use the keyboard pretty well. I also decided to take on kind of a weird challenge. I don't know how many people out there are aware of a keyboard layout called Dvorak, but you know how the keyboard everyone has is QWERTY, right? And I don't know, I guess I got bored or something. I wanted a challenge, and Stacy was showing the kids a video about how the QWERTY keyboard is inefficient on purpose because it was designed for typewriters. And if you type too fast, you jam the little metal arms when you type on a keyboard. So it's designed for old technology that they don't use anymore. And Dvorak, it doesn't have Dvorak on the keyboard like QWERTY does, but it was invented by a scientist who decided this was the most efficient layout of a keyboard. One major difference, well, I mean, all the keys are in different places except for A and M, I think. But if you look at the A key and it's like A, what is it? A, S, D, F, G on the QWERTY keyboard, those keys are A, O, E, U, I on the Dvorak keyboard. So all of the vowels are hit with your left hand on the home row. And so I decided at Christmas, for fun, to try to change over to the Dvorak keyboard. And I was mostly successful. By the time I went back to work, I could type at like 20 something, 22, 23 words a minute in Dvorak. But I also was completely broken on QWERTY. I couldn't type on it anymore. So I got stuck typing at 20 words a minute the first week of the new year. Now I average in the 55 to 60 words a minute, which is still, I don't think, as fast as I was on QWERTY, but I don't know, it was something fun to try. I don't know if any of you are gluttons for punishment. I want to try something like that. Stacey thinks I'm really weird for doing that, which I guess I am. Um, Other kind of things that have improved. We go to church early on Sundays. Stacy does the sound stuff, and so she has to be there for rehearsal and things. And while we're there early, I decided to start doing exercises in that rehearsal time. So I started. This was probably in late November, maybe it was in December. I started wheeling myself around the church using my arms only. So like how people normally use wheelchairs, because my arms are so like useless. The shoulder and the triceps and stuff, they don't really work right. I can't bend my arms up. So normally I get around by just using my feet, whether pulling myself forward or pushing myself backwards. That's how I get around the house. But at the church, it's a pretty big, long walkway that goes all the way around the outside. So I started doing that with my arms. And the first time that I measured the time it took me to go all the way one lap around the church, it took me like 56 minutes. So, and that was going around like clockwise. I mean, all right turns around the building. Then I realized that doing it that way really only worked my left arm because you have to push harder on the outside side to go around because it's a big circle kind of. So then I realized, well, I felt like my left was stronger than my right, so I started going the other way. Actually, I guess I started measuring myself when I started going with all left turns. So the first time I measured that time was 56 minutes. So today was a Sunday. I don't know when I'm releasing this video, but this is recorded on Sunday. Today, the time that it took me to go around one lap was 21 minutes, which is a lot less than 56. And last week it was 20. I was actually hoping I'd be under 20 this week, but I didn't make it. But I did do 2 laps this week, which is the first time I've tried to do 2 laps in a week. And the second lap, I went back the other way, all right turns, and that one took me 23. But I think I was more tired because I'd already done a whole lap going left turns. So that's encouraging. I want to see if I can get to the point where my wheelchair doesn't really stop when I'm doing it. That would be really great. But the path that I go around is kind of this tough carpet, so it's not rolly, it's not smooth like tile or concrete or something. There's a little bit of rolling resistance, so it's not an easy lap. What else has been better? I guess like I still don't have any issues coughing. I mean, I don't cough anymore. I don't aspirate anymore. I eat all the foods. We really haven't. My diet's really back to normal now. I can eat vegetables. I guess I don't like eating the really fibrous ones that are hard to swallow, but we don't eat those a lot at home anyway. I've had celery. I've had spinach and lettuce and salads and stuff, and those aren't any problems for me. We did come across an interesting discussion with the kids recently. My daughter, she has braces, and Stacy's had braces. I've had braces, and when we were talking about how to keep them clean, I forget what Stacy said. She was saying that after you eat, you can swish water around in your mouth to kind of clean out under the braces and stuff. And I was saying that, oh yeah, when I was in high school and I had braces, I had a way of cleaning after eating too. I would go and get water and rinse it around in my mouth, but I don't feel like I get everything out that way. So I would also, after, like I'd go to the fountain and I would get water from the fountain and I'd be swishing around my mouth, that kind of stuff. And when I was done, I would do this extra part where I kind of, I don't know what it's called, flub the stuff out of my mouth. So I would do this to empty out the rest of it in the fountain area. And Stacey thought it was really gross. And then my daughter did it, and she was like, oh, well, she was just kind of doing it in the bathroom. She's like, oh, I think it really does clean, because you end up flapping your inside of your mouth against the braces and the water and splashing things around, and you get a lot more stuff out. So I'm just curious if other people have done that, or maybe you have better techniques that you would recommend on how to keep your braces clean when you eat. Maybe that was a side story. But back to the treatments and stuff. So my infusions, the doctor did agree that we could continue on the same regimen that we're at. So this past month, like we finished in the 3rd week of February, I think, or 2nd or 3rd week, we did 4 more rounds of the Rituximab infusions. And this time, I had no reactions of any kind. I didn't have any flushing. I didn't have... there was absolutely no reactions for any of the 4 infusions, which was fantastic because that's never happened before. The painful ankle thing, really, I think I had it a little bit on the day of the 3rd infusion. So in previous times, it was halfway between the 2nd and 3rd infusions that I would get the ankle pain. And the first time I went to the hospital because it was so bad. The second time we iced it and it went away, so I didn't really have a problem. This time I just had painful feet for it's like at first they felt like they fell asleep. So then I was like bouncing them. And then, the pins and needles come. And the pins and needles were really, really painful. So it's like, oh no, it's that thing again. So I just stopped moving them. And it went away and didn't come back. So that's as close as we had to any kind of a reaction for this past round, which is great. The only downside or negative thing that happened was at the infusions, because they're like 6.5 hours long. we go there, and I'm like, I don't really want to go to the bathroom while I'm here, right? Especially I don't want to do like number two. So I don't really. I eat a liquid breakfast, like we have a protein shake that I do, and then I don't really eat until we leave. So we're there from like 7:45 till 3 or something like that. 3:15 depends on when the drugs come out because there's 3 bags and they have to mix them like on demand. Like they don't mix all 3. They mix the second one while I'm doing the first one just in case there's problems. And sometimes the timing doesn't perfectly line up because lunch breaks or whatever reasons, right? So when I'm there, I eat the snacks that they have in the clinic. And lately, I've become very fond of the goldfish. We don't really have goldfish in our house. Like we had them when our kids were really little, but we haven't had them for a while. So I was eating goldfish, and the fourth week was very disappointed for me. They didn't have any goldfish because of supply chain issues of some kind. I don't know. They didn't get delivered that week. So I felt very sad because I didn't goldfish. So, the next 2 weeks later, a week or two later, when Stacey was ordering groceries, I was like, "Can you buy goldfish?" So now I'm eating goldfish because they taste really good. Actually, I really like them. I haven't done them in a while, but that's my silly side story. So we are getting stronger. It's we've been doing a lot more standing therapy too in the lift at home. And the first few times, it was really hard to get me to weight bearing on my legs. Like they wouldn't both straighten, or I wouldn't be able to stay centered on them. And then the one knee would hurt, the right knee would kind of hurt. But the last few times, my legs don't hurt, the knees don't hurt at all. And one of the sessions we stood for probably 25 or 30 minutes, and my calves got tired from the standing, but the bones were good. And we're really close to the point where like I could almost balance where there's very little pushing to help me stay upright. So I want to try to get to the point where I can stand in the lift, obviously, without assistance after I'm balanced. And then once I get there, then I can stand there, try to see how long I can do it. And then hopefully we get to walking after that because I really like to get out of the chair. It's really nice to stand up and be tall. Um, so yeah, those are the updates I think I have for now. I'm sure I forgot something, so maybe I won't wait 4 or 5 months before the next video, but we'll work on it. And thank everybody that checks on me and prays for me. It's really encouraging, and yeah, it's looking good. I hope this will be a year where we have some like big noticeable changes, like somehow standing and walking would be really nice. So thanks for watching, and until next time.